But then you've got whose name I'm not going to mention right now, simply because I'm fairly certain that I'm suspicious anyways that perhaps he had a hand in this. Now he's not going to admit to that. Nobody is. But again, as I said before, watch the personalities right now, let them cool off a bit, and then see what they say. It was the same thing with like Kevin Samuels. When Kevin Samuels passed away, it was this, the women that hated Kevin Samuels were dancing in the streets. Literally, I forget the name of the chick who was saying this, but like I think it happened on Mother's Day or just before Mother's Day. And she was saying, it's an early Mother's Day gift from God that Kevin Samuels died. That's the level of vitriol I want you to watch for about Fresh and Fit and about everything else. When they go down, watch the celebrations. Watch who dances on the graves. Watch who has the ticker tape parades, right? Watch who takes their victory lap. But also, more importantly, watch the people who you thought were supporters. Suddenly, like, well, I hate that it's censorship. I hate that because this is going to be like everyone's sort of MO from here because they want to like they don't want to seem like they were involved, but they'll say something like this. It's like, well, we we're against censorship and we're against all this stuff and we're against we got to have an open platform and open discussions and stuff. But I guess in the long term, it's better that they're not around because they were spreading misogyny and they were spreading hate and they were spreading whatever. The same thing they said about Kevin Samuels, the same thing they're going to say about Fresh and Fit, because that's what happened with Kevin. Once Kevin was gone, everybody was like, well, man, that's horrible. What a horrible occasion. But you know what? It's a net benefit that he's in the grave. That's some fucked up shit, quite honestly. That's like, you want to talk about dehumanizing? That's dehumanizing. But that's where we're at. That's what these people are about. We've turned sort of social media into this one massive global worldwide version of 4chan right now. When people think that they have some sort of anonymity, this is what they are. Become animals. And they will focus every bit of their OCD on you to try to and go to great lengths. Chess, at least 3D chess efforts to in some way try to find some way to bring you down. And that's really it's not the censorship. The censorship's going to be there no matter what. It's going to be there on mainstream TV. You can expect it to happen on mainstream TV. You can expect it to happen on larger platforms. Expect censorship. Expect to have your clips ruthlessly, taken out of context. You can expect, by the way, it's their game, right? I mean, I don't like to mention her name very often, but like, here's some advice to Pearl. Don't go on Piers Morgan anymore and say you're red pill, please. You're doing us all a disservice. And we're all dumber for you having done that. And what happens is people will go and they'll think, oh, that's what it's really about. If you guys remember when I went on Dr. Phil and they brought that one kid on there, now whose name now escapes me, but before it was my turn to go and talk to Dr. Phil on the very first episode, they brought that guy on there to essentially characterize or mischaracterize the red pill. And the guy, literally, I talked to him after the show. I said, have you ever been prescribed with like Asperger's syndrome or like, do you have any kind of autism or spectrum disorder or something like that? And he said, yeah. I'm like, yeah, they brought him on there specifically to flavor and color what the red pill's really about. And I'm happy to say that I went in there and kicked ass, but that was the point. And so when Piers Morgan brings on Pearl, it's not to have a conversation. It's so she gets to be the that's sitting in the chair on Dr. Phil. That's the role you get to play in the big high chair. And what's the red pill about? Like, that's what they want. That's the characterization that they want. So they can dismiss it and move on. Well, these guys aren't the sharpest, knives in the drawer. That's what they're trying to, and they won't laugh and they won't say, the medium is the message. Yes, you're right. The whole thing about, making an example of this person. That's what they want. And they want people, that's the public perception that they want. And they think, maybe falsely so for Dr. Phil, but maybe not Piers Morgan, there is a definite agenda to censor that. And part of that censorship is putting you up for public ridicule. That's how they do it. So if they can make you ridiculous, they can make your whole message or whatever that happens to be ridiculous. They can make your brand ridiculous. So if they can't actually take your bread, they can make you so ridiculous that your bread is less forthcoming, let's just say. And they're coming for everybody, including, her, including me, including, lots of other people as well. In fact, I will point out here that this is the expressed agenda of guys with blue hair. We're going to take out the biggest guys in the manosphere. That was expressly the design of all of this. So when I see Myron and Fresh get demonetized and get their bread taken away, I can only look one way. I can only go, well, who was talking about, bringing them down? Who was talking about bringing MLD down? Who was talking about bringing Donovan Sharp down? Who was talking about bringing me down? Trying to find dirt on me and then manufacturing dirt on me, or trying to anyways. What do they want to hide? What do they want you not to know? I literally am watching videos of the blue-haired kid talking about how he basically admitting to what his MO is, which is create a bunch of lies and mix in some truth in that so that the lies are more convincing than the truth that's in there. So that when you get, when whoever your victim is or whoever your opponent is gets, pilloried or vilified for those lies, it also makes the case, any case that he could say against those truths, less believable. Literally, that's what he was saying. So I can only look one way. When I realize that you don't just arbitrarily get your channel demonetized, there would have had to have been a third strike. Who reported that strike? I don't know who. I'm not saying I can't name names, but someone did. So what I'm asking my audience and their audience and anyone else, who's part of this sphere, who has been part of this niche for a long time, I'm just saying, keep an eye out. And if you are an influencer, even if you're red pill adjacent, this is coming for you. This could happen to you. This could happen to me. This could happen to anybody else. Your bread will be taken away, and it won't be by your employer. It'll be by some autistic 15-year-old child who doesn't like you. You're old. Let's mass report him. Let's try to get him on something. Oh, you're fresh and fit. You're making money hand over fist. Oh, look at Fresh. He's driving around in this brand new, Rolls Royce. Let's get him. It's schoolyard, middle school, adolescent social skill sets is what it is. So when people say next time you hear somebody say what is it? The Lost Boys generation, they have no purpose. No, they have a purpose. Their purpose is to fuck with you. That's what their entire lives are, is to fuck with you. So keep that in mind. If you're a red pill, if you want to be, I want to get into doing a blog. I want to get into doing a video podcast. Hey, come on my podcast, Rolo. Hey, I got this new Red Pill podcast. We talk about the stuff you do. Will you come on? No, I won't. And not because I'm being a dick. I would love to go on your podcast. I don't care if you have 2,000 followers. I'd love to go on your podcast. I can't trust anyone right now. And I'm not going to trust anyone probably for a while, unless I've worked with you in the past, probably. So Jason Hartman, I'll do your show. But if I don't know you, I'm probably not going to go on your show. Not for the foreseeable future anyways. Because I think really we're kind of entering this time where we got to keep our heads down.